Sentire Media.
Well, hello there, and thank you for downloading the podcast from Italy on a rainy, drizzly 27th of March. Good morning, Ashley.
Good morning. Ciao, ciao.
We are here, sitting here on, like I said, I noticed that we do not do this podcast in nice weather.
A lot less, even though we're only doing it once a month. I don't know how we can do it less, but because we look for the procrastination of the morning.
It's never like, oh, it's beautiful, sunny, warm, we're doing a podcast. No. Crappy, rainy, drizzly. Anyway, I'm Jason. To the right of me is Ashley. To the right of her is a giant Great Dane. To the left of me is a little golden English cream retriever sleeping peacefully. This is the podcast from Italy. We live in a tiny little town called Piobico in the middle of nowhere, Italy.
That is, it is.
We're setting it up.
All right. So we should we just jump right on in?
Yeah. So this last month has been more. If you listen to the last podcast, it's probably pretty much the same thing.
Ditto.
We're still taking this giant dog to laser therapy for his bum leg 3 times a week. So that
The end is near. We were told it looked like maybe just 3 or 4 more weeks, which thank the Lord, that's all the time we got left.
Yeah, because then the season starts and we turn into pumpkins and we cannot devote our lives to carting a dog around.
But we did remember that we forgot to share on the last podcast a story of Jason when this whole thing happened with Leroy, and we were taking him around to different vets and different hours of the night. Jason headed over the hills to Città di Castello in Umbria to get Leroy checked out by a vet that Dr. Gaggi and his wife have used for years, and so much so that sometimes they've even paid for surgeries in cholesterol pills.
A swap.
So Jason takes him.
Well, I rolled around Italy for 10 years with a American driver's license, and it was never really a problem. And then I got enough crap from everyone that I finally got my Italian driver's license last year. So,
and it's all ending up to be, thank God you finally did.
Yeah. Because I have to rent a car this week, like this whole thing. Anyway, it was a dark, rainy night over the hill in Città di Castello.
Time? I can't remember.
It was like 9 o'clock at night. I was kind of lost because I don't know. I know my ways around there, but once you get off the beaten path, I didn't really know. So I was going down a little 2-lane road that I was going the wrong way. I need to go the opposite direction. So I saw a car maybe 100 meters, 150 meters up there, and just no one around. So I just flipped it. And because I'm in the van and it was narrower than I thought, I had to do a 3-point turn. Well,
wasn't so smooth.
No. So as I'm backing up and going to go straight, I say, "Oh, it's a police car."
We got a copper.
So he turns on his lights. It's like, Yep, I deserved that one. So I pull over and, documents, blah, blah, blah. What are you doing? I'm like, I'm lost. I'm just trying to get back to Piobico. I've got this giant, and at that point, Leroy sticks his giant head between the 2 seats. And from there it was, oh my God, your dog, look at this, blah, 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 blah. What is American doing out here? The same old story.
But also you said that when you first got pulled over, you're like, I understand I was wrong. What's my ticket? Or whatever.
Like, oh, yeah, you got, it was more like, yeah, you got.
But they said, no, don't worry about it.
No, they they checked my license and my documents and everything was fine. And they said, just go home.
But it's funny how they're also like, what are you doing out here at night?
I know, it's 30 minutes from my house.
Explain yourself, sir.
Explain yourself. What are you doing down here? Giant dog, huh?
So that was funny. It used to be that if you got pulled over, they saw the New York license and just, Big Apple.
Yeah, then once they saw my New York license, it was nothing but talk about America. So now at least I'm legal and I didn't have to sweat it.
Speaking of talk of America or how that can distract someone, I went to get my hair cut and colored, whatever, and went to leave a tip. And a great way to leave a tip in Italy for services, they're not necessarily expecting it at all. and will say, oh, no, you don't need to do it. But a nice way to get around that is to say it's for your next coffee. And then they'll go, okay. And so I was getting ready to pull out a couple bucks for the hair stylist, whatever. And I had just gotten back from the States and hadn't opened my little wallet, and a dollar bill came out, and I was like, oh, I got this. And I was joking because I still had money to tip her. And she goes, oh my gosh. And I said, do you want this dollar? And she was like, oh, my son would think this is so incredible. She was like, are you sure?
Would you like 3 of them?
I know. I didn't want to seem flagrant. I didn't want to seem highfalutin, so I just kept it to the one. But it's funny how little things like that, like when we moved in, we found a lira. And I was like, oh, lira. Oh, my God. This is so crazy to see.
No, it wasn't a lira. The coin was like 8,000.
I still don't even get lira.
I don't get lira either.
No, it had changed before we got here. But
6 million lira was like $12.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So whatever the coin was that I found. But it's just kind of funny. You take certain things for granted. And it's like, yeah, a kid would think that foreign currency is kind of cool. So something fun. If you're looking for a good tip, a dollar bill can go a long way.
Not on vacation. Those people want money.
More America.
What's that?
I was going to say more talk of America.
What's that?
Pastrami making.
Oh, yeah. So going on this week is apart from hauling a dog around, we're getting the first guests of the year show up at the middle of April. So time to start getting psycho about that. But
yes. Time to start getting psycho about that. Yes, indeed.
So this last month, couple of things we did in between. I made pastrami. I put at the beginning of middle of January.
Well, you got a smoker last year when we had slaughtered the pigs, so you could do bacon and ham, and it was like, yeah, let's pull this thing out and try something else.
It took forever, but it came out really, really well. I forget the name. Who's the website that I followed that Jerbal recommended? I was recommended a guy, some site to follow. My
best friend's dad had used this site multiple times. It's like, not the beef guy. It's just it's like a Katz's Deli.
Nah, we have no real information.
No, but it's a recipe based off of Katz's Deli. Sure. And it was really good, especially for the first time.
Yeah, it came out much better than the ham I did.
Well, also you used a different type of cheaps.
Oh, yeah, different wood. Oh, cherry wood was gross.
It smelled so gross.
It smelled and tasted like liquid smoke. I don't know why.
I just made everything, the fridge stink, everything.
Yeah. But this was not we'll make it this weekend. This was like a month in. You have to brine it for, depending on the weight. This one had to go like 30 days. Then you have to take it out and put it in a clean water for a couple of days. Then you have to take it out again and put it in the fridge to dry out a little bit. Then you have to smoke it. Then you have to let it rest for a couple of days. Then you have to steam it to serve. So it's a bit of a production. But
it was. I am loving it.
Yeah, I'll do it next year. Next winter.
Yeah. It was really crazy because for the first time ever since we've moved here, we actually had like a St. Patty's Day lunch, like a proper corned beef, potatoes, and all of it, cabbage.
One thing I
good.
will say is the briskets, the beef here in general doesn't have the same fat and marbling, so it was a little. It wasn't dry, but it didn't have the same. Didn't have that fatty bits that real pastrami from New York has.
You also made potato rolls with it, which I'm a fan of. I was like sniffing it. Remember, it was so good. The bread. I love potato bread.
Well, let's move on from things other than things we ate in the last month. We started getting the garden together. The seeds for the peppers have been put down to sprout, as well as
the not general peppers.
No, those chili peppers.
The little ones that are called lemon drop that are these
forever.
little Peruvian ones that are so good.
We started a bunch of seeds for the seeds for the Beppe onions.
Which was almost a crisis situation.
Well, just to recap, Beppe Bianchini, who's passed away, rest in peace, he started a cross between the Dorata di Parma and the
Tropea
from Calabria to make a beautiful pink onion that you can eat like an apple and doesn't make you cry, and they are just incredible.
They're the best.
So I've taken it,
and they grow gigantic in our garden.
I've taken it upon myself to keep that line alive, and I give them to whoever talks about onions or asks me, but I screwed up.
They've gone all over the world.
I've screwed up this year because I save usually around 6 or 7 heads onions from the year before, and I plant them in the spring, and then they grow the seeds to plant for the next year. So
we've been doing this for 17, 15 years.
15 years maybe. It always works out. For some reason this year, most of the flower heads were empty. They looked correct.
They looked correct, and then because I started seeds, and I'd go to like open them up, and it would just be dust.
Now
and then you go to open another one, you're like dust.
One head usually contains, no joke, thousands of.
Oh my God!
Like 5 heads are enough to populate this whole valley with
so many seeds. They're tiny. It's laborious to get to the seed at times, but thank God we had given a bunch of those heads to one of Gaggi's neighbors, a good friend who has a beautiful garden in Fano. And so crisis diverted, hopefully. Gaggi was able to, he called me the other day saying, I've been able to recuperate the seeds. Because I was like, you need to talk to Giorgio. I gave him a ton, and I know he wouldn't have used that many. And Giorgio is also incredibly... not thrifty. What's the word where it'd be like he would save them?
Yeah, he wouldn't throw something like that out.
He would never throw extra things like that away. So I knew there would still be safe with Giorgio, but Gaggi's delivering them today, tomorrow. And so then we can really get a lay in.
Ash, we got one plateau, which is about 60. We only got 60 seeds out of all those heads. So usually we do about 500, 600 onions. On heavy years, we did 1,000. That's too many. Last year, we only did like 250, not enough.
Not enough.
So somewhere between 5 and 650, somewhere in there is pretty good. And you say that is a ton of, yes, it is a ton of onions. We don't throw them away in the winter, like they are consumed. Between giving them away and we eat in the summertime, we eat onions every day.
They're
incredible.
In every dish, basically, in the cooking classes. Like, they're always being used. They're so good. Anyway, yes. So those onions, what's next to get started?
Potatoes. When I get back, we have to do a little strip for potatoes to plant those. And then corn is sometime in later April, and then we're off and running.
I got to get the cilantro in, too.
Yeah, you're late.
But speaking of the garden...
Okay, so devotees will remember my dump. Now, I don't want to brag, but got a pretty sweet dump truck. I got to use it to haul poop all day the other day, get as much manure as I possibly could. It's pretty sweet. I was very happy with my dump truck. It worked perfect.
You were able to do it finally. Finally.
Now, every time I've taken this dump truck off the paved road and tried to dump something off to the side, it gets stuck because once there's no weight in the back and it doesn't have 4-wheel drive. Mistake, should have gotten 4-wheel drive.
It was an auction item.
It was an auction item. The wheels just spin. So this time I was like, all right, I know I'm going to be dumping this in the garden. I'm not going to be able to get the tractor out of. I'm not putting the dump truck all the way into the garden, but they're on the right
where it's still compacted.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to pull the tractor out. I'm going to get all the tow stuff set up, so I'm ready to go. So as soon as it gets stuck, Ashley can just come down, jump in the stuck dumper. I'll get in the tractor. We'll hook it up in 2 seconds, pull it out, and away I go. Well, of course, I drove it out no problem every single time. I have no idea why.
You kind of figured out to leave some weight in the back or leave the back up?
I figured out if you leave the back of the dump truck up in the air, it puts more weight on the back tires, and I was able to drive it out.
But it also means now you have all these other tractors and things out ready to go.
Yeah, and it's pouring out, and I have to put everything away. And I'm sure it's very dangerous to do that because it's much more unstable if you have all the whole dump truck part in the air.
Now you got to figure out how to spread it.
Now I have to spread it. So I'll with my front loader, I'll put it into big piles all over the garden, and then hopefully I can borrow my neighbor's blade and then just kind of smooth it out a little bit.
Smear it.
Yeah. Otherwise, we have to throw it by hand, and we've done that.
Oh,
years
yes,
past,
we have.
That was in our younger days.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that. It's horrible
It's a lot
work.
of work.
It's pitchforks and throwing. You just throw shit everywhere. But the garden this year will be ready to go. I had an attack on my saffron.
Yeah.
I think my saffron is done. I took the bottom fence up because I was redoing it at the beginning of the winter and thought, well, there's nothing in the garden. The soil's all turned. The only thing in there at the very, very top is the saffron.
And I didn't even think about that.
I did.
Okay.
And I thought, man, these animals would have to go over 100 meters from the bottom of the garden up over just turned soil with nothing to find these things. Well, last week they found them. They tore up 2,000 saffron bulbs. Just
Num.
dug. I don't know if it was the boar or the porcupines. Either way.
There's been a lot of porks around.
There has been many porks this year. Either way, all that area is turned up, and there's bulbs on top and half-eaten bulbs, and we'll see what happens once it dries out, and I'll dig them all up and see what happens.
Maybe we'll move them up top by the berries.
Oh, to get eaten up there?
Yeah.
They have to be. They can't be out. You have to have a fence around it.
I thought if they were in a box, that would be better.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Shit.
So those are done.
Well, that was fun while it lasted, the saffron.
Well, we'll see. I don't think they got every single bulb, but out of 2,000, if we have a couple of hundred, I'll be surprised.
Oh, man. Imagine if you had, like, a real saffron field. You'd have to,
Yeah, you'd have to fence it really well.
Fence it.
Of course.
Oh, my God.
Well, I was also battling the voles. They were doing a good job on them too. So, garden. What else is going on?
You got your knives sharpened.
Oh, so doing little pre-season things. What do you got to do? Well, we got to soak all of our boards, all of our cutting boards, and all the wooden stuff in mineral oil.
Oh, no, you don't soak it.
Sorry,
you would like to.
I would love to get a big
so
bucket
crazy.
of mineral oil and just soak it in it.
That's what you wanted to do.
We got to paint them all with the mineral oil and take care of that, and knives. And I got to break out my Tormek,
Hardcore.
sharpener, and sharpening knives.
But you got to explain when you just say a Tormek sharpener, you're talking about knives. People are
It is
thinking it's like
water-
a honing thing.
No, it's a water wheel that goes slow, not like a grinder that goes super fast, and there's no sparks. And it has a little water bath.
So part of the wheel is stone,
It's a stone wheel.
and then isn't there another
Yeah,
strap?
there's a leather strop.
There you go.
That's then to strop it at the end. But people always ask about sharpening knives, and sharpening knives is not easy. Whether you have a machine like I do or just water stones that you do it manually by hand, it's really not easy, and it's really time consuming. And
I forgot you used to just have that little stone. Well, that was when you were just cooking.
Well, I was just have my
Yeah.
knives. Now we have 50 knives.
Exactly.
So even with the stone, it'll take a good 10, 15 minutes because you have to do it on
two sides.
two different grits, and then you have to strop it. So I have literally 50 knives to do, from the paring knives to the chef's knives to the boning knives and all those. Takes forever. My suggestion is find the knife guy. There's always a knife guy. Well, what do you mean knife guy? Start with a butcher or your hairstylist. The stylists always have someone who come and grab their scissors and go and sharpen their scissors. If not twice a month, then once a month. But ask around, and when the knife guy's coming by, either the butcher or the hairstylist, throw your knives into a shoebox, take them down there. It's not a nominal fee, and your knives will come back beautifully razor sharp. Otherwise, I've screwed up a couple of my knives just because I don't know really what I'm doing. And if you don't know what you're doing, you'll change how the knife sits, or change how the actual contour of the knife, or it doesn't get sharpened at the front or the back, or there's a lot of ways to screw up your knives. So Especially if you have nice knives. Once a year, every 6 months, take them to the knife guy or to the sharpener
that's
guy.
your number one pet peeve that has then gone on to me of when you go to family and friends' house and you go to grab a knife out of the cupboard to cut something and you're just like, oh my God, these knives are dull as shit. Like going to Thanksgiving, my uncle, like, any of the knives, you're just like, oh my God, how are we cutting this stuff? Or staying in an Airbnb, it's all crappy.
Well, of course. But a couple of things you can do. Don't put your knives in the dishwasher. Even if you have cheap, shitty knives, don't put them in the dishwasher. The dishwasher just beats them up. Don't just throw them in a drawer to get beat up. Either put them in a knife block or put them on somewhere where they're...
We have a magnetic strip on the wall.
On the wall, or you can get really, really cheap. You can just get knife sleeves that they're plastic little sleeve that your knife goes in, and then throw it in the drawer and nothing happens to it. So yeah.
Something to think about.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you out there have beautiful knives that
I'm
are
sure.
dull as shit.
I know. Oh, man. What else is going on? Dinners with Gaggi and Rossana. Or not even dinners. They do their classic pop-in at 4-ish or whatever. Well, announce they don't want anything to eat a bag of chips and drink a bottle of wine, and then say they're leaving after like 2 hours.
Well, their house is cold right now, so when they come up for the weekend, they don't want to. They want to. Our house is warm, so they want to come over.
And they're not really besties, so they look for a buffer, a.k.a. us.
Maybe. And they really don't want to... Yeah, like Ashley said, it's funny. It's always an event.
So anyway, one of the last times they were over... I don't even know how it came up. You probably offered it before some of the boar from the hunters that we got over the winter.
Because we were trying the lard and talking about that.
Yes.
And then she asked about, did I have any boar in the freezer that she can have? I said, absolutely. And I brought out like 3 different options. I brought out a juvenile boar ham, back leg. I brought out a roast, a whole muscle, and I brought out like stew meat, cut up all frozen, solid. Mm-hmm. Take whatever you want. I've got more in the freezer.
Let about 30 minutes of arguments and confusion begin. It was just like, oh my God. So then Rossana says, great, I'll take the roast. Because she doesn't want to cook the boar. She's very particular. Certain things she just doesn't like cooking. Now, certain things she also doesn't like to eat, but she will cook.
And she's excellent.
Yes. So the boar, she was like, I'm not a big fan of, and don't really know many ways. I'm going to give this boar to their buddy who's a chef, who then is going to make it into whatever for them. Perfect. Great. No question. So she's like, yeah, just give me that big chunk of meat. He'll figure out what to do with it. Gaggi is like, whoa, whoa, whoa. It's too big. She's like, yeah. But he can cut it in half. He'll figure it out. He's a chef. He'll figure it out.
He'll make 2 things.
He'll make 2 things. Gaggi's like, no, it's too much. Why don't we saw it in half?
Okay. I am looking at from the chest freezer, like you throw it at someone and kill them, chunk of frozen ass boar meat.
Yeah.
How are we cutting this in half?
He's like, don't you have a Sega?
Saw?
Electric saw. And he was like, Jason's like, that is so dangerous. He's like, we could just take it to the butcher like this frozen and they can just do it. And he was like, oh my God. So then they're arguing. Then Rossana says, who did you give this to, Jason? Excuse me. Did you give this meat to me? Or to Gaggi, which is hilarious. They live in the same goddamn house. And she's basically saying whoever you're giving it to gets to make the decision on what's done with this meat.
I have no idea what's going on. I'm cleaning up dinner.
So confused.
And I'm just like, I'm like, what's going on? Take it, don't take it, shove it up your butt. Give me a break. It's the Costanzas. I swear to God, it's the Costanzas.
Then as they're leaving, Jason, does the proper thing and takes Rossana's arm to lead her out to the car. And as soon as they get outside, I'm right behind them. Gaggi's still in the kitchen. And I hear as soon as they cross the threshold, Rossana's so funny about this stuff. As soon as they cross the threshold outside, she whispers to Jason, next time, just talk to me about these things. Or give this to me in private.
I didn't ask you. I didn't bring it up. You asked if I...
Then I go into the kitchen and Jason follows me back into and says something about, oh yeah, I'm finishing up the knives and the scissors, and here's your, I'll get you your scissors and this Swiss Army knife and all this stuff. And Gaggi then has to explain as he's walking out the door what a Swiss Army knife is and the uses for it. And it was like,
this is a bottle opener.
Look at how you can do this. And it was like, oh my God, we know what one of these
Go
things.
home.
Just go home. And that night, the media set player wasn't working for the news. This was a thing. Yet they kept saying, oh, it's no problem. And then they go, can you go back to that channel? And I was like, it's not working. It's not working. There's no other player online for the news.
They love the news. And not only do they love the news, they go from 6:30 this news, 7 o'clock.
Change it from the channel 1 to the channel 4.
But it's the same news. It's the same B-roll. It's just a different person talking over it. It's awesome.
So that was a thing.
I love it. I love it every time. You think, listen, I know you're sitting there thinking, oh man, you guys do nothing but bitch about it. No.
No, I love it.
It's great.
It's totally like family. Like it is just chaos. And the dogs go crazy and they bring treats and it is a zoo.
Rossana takes all the crumbs from the table and with her hand brushes them all on the floor so the dogs can lick them up.
She goes, what? They like it. They like it. They like the crumbs. It's like, oh my God.
Okay. It's like, what she's really saying is, you two live in a dog den. This doesn't make a difference.
She said the other day, she looked under the table looking for Maggie, and she goes, you and Gaggi, your shoes are so gross. And it was like, or like dirty or something. And he looks under, and I just had on like an old pair of tennis shoes. And he basically had an old pair of like moccasin weird shoes.
Yeah, it was like not his work shoes, but it's like he takes off his work boots.
It's like Mr. Rogers style, like little house moccasin shoes. Anyway, he goes, it's the country. What do you want us to wear? But I don't know. It's always something. What else do you got? All right, great. Well, I was going to say how we were just in a new book called Mangia, Eating Your Way Through Italy, and it is written by Maria Pasquale. She is a Australian expat that's been living in Rome for like 20 years, and she's written a bunch of other books, mainly about Rome and the Roman cuisine. But this one is about exactly the title, Eating Your Way Through Italy. Now, it's not a ton of recipes. So Gaggi and Rossana came over the other day, and I was like, look, we're in a book. They don't see a lot of the press that we're in that's just online or those kind of things. So it was fun to show them something tangible. And so I showed them the beginning. So each, the book is broken up by regions. And the first part is like a little story about the region. And then it goes into some of the top dishes of the area and then other dishes to look out for, culinary experiences. And then there's one regional dish from each region that there's a recipe for. Now, this Rossana could not understand. She was looking at the book, and I was showing her. I mean, they can't read English, but I was breaking it down for them and showing them some of the dishes that she says to check out for, and certain ones that are from the market. They were like, never heard of it. And then other ones, some they approved. Oh, yes, that's good. Pastella, yes. And then there'd be something else, and they'd go, nope, doesn't exist. And it would be like, well, it could be from the Southern Market. The Marquet's huge. Anyway, I was so proud showing them that we were listed on here twice, and above, it was the only thing I knew they would get from this region or this part of the book is that one of the other culinary experiences listed is going out to eat at Uliassi, and he's a Michelin-starred chef on the coast. And so I said, look, he's listed as number 3rd. We're the first two, and they're like, whoa, he's in this book? And that caught their attention. So Gaggi would flip through it, and he was very impressed that all of the Italian dishes listed were written in Italian, and that they were the correct names for the dishes. He sat here and really went through it. But it was so funny because Rossana just kept looking for, well, where's the recipe for this that they mentioned? And I was like, no, it's just one recipe, Brodetto for La Marche. She was like, it'd be nice if there was more recipes. And I thought, well, that's hilarious. But then I was telling...
it's not really a cookbook.
Exactly. And I was saying about this to our adopted Texas mama, how about the book, and for her, she was like, this is the perfect kind of travel book for me because I'm not looking to cook anything when I'm traveling.
She just wants to know what to eat.
I just want to know what to order when I'm going out. But anyway, check it out. You can find it on Amazon, and it's really nice that we're in here under both staying and cooking at our 500-year-old farmhouse, and then also she does a little bit about our butchery workshop. So shout out to Manja Eating Your Way Through Italy, and hope you guys check it out. It looks like it's a good one. I'm definitely going to look at it when we go to different regions that we haven't been to before to see what to order and eat.
Very good.
Yeah.
All right. Coming up in the next couple of weeks, this weekend, I'm heading off to Antwerp to take my godson and his sister to monster trucks. The Belgians are really into, it's really funny. They're into monster trucks. They're into tractor pulls. And are they into rodeo too in Belgium?
I don't know.
But I definitely know they're into monster trucks and tractor pulls, which is kind of funny. You wouldn't think that's like totally deep America. Anyway, he's 4 and his sister's 6, so this is the perfect age for monster trucks. And we get to go to the little thing before to like see them up close down.
VIP, baby.
Yeah. Which I hope will be the highlight of it, because I don't know if a 4 and a 6-year-old are going to last 4.5, 5 hours.
Well, one thing that is for certain is this isn't part of French culture.
What do you mean?
Monster truck rallies and Hot Wheels. So I think that it's going to be a spectacular, like just something crazy for them regardless. Like they have no idea what to expect.
No, but it's still they're 4
It's a
and
long
6.
day.
It's long. It doesn't. We have to be there early. We have to be there at 4. The thing doesn't start till 6:30, and doesn't. So we'll see. We'll see if there's meltdowns.
Well, this is definitely a infusion of America for these kids, and I think that Jason and Nadja, the mom, my girlfriend who I grew up with, I think those two are going to be the most excited for this because
it's fun.
Well, it's something that we grew up with, of coming to the kingdom.
Yeah. I went to
rally.
monster trucks when I was a little kid.
Demolition derbies.
The only thing they don't have here is like wrestling. I went to wrestling when I was a little kid too.
I never went to a wrestling.
No?
No.
I came to the same place that monster trucks came.
I know.
Anyway,
Oh, but you're going up there. The next podcast, we'll see his travel stories. We've got to rent a car because classic. We were afraid it was going to happen in Italy.
So I've been driving her all over this region for the last 2.5, 3 months. All I wanted to do was go up there, get a train, fly in, grab a train. The trains up north are beautiful. They're on time and clean and great, and you can really use them. Got myself a beautiful train ticket. Thought, great. An hour and 20. I have to fly into Amsterdam, jump on the train. It's an hour and 20 minutes by train down south to Antwerp. No. The rail system is on strike. Monday, I leave Sunday. Monday, the whole country is. It's just called
all transportation,
general transportation strike,
including the airport.
Mm-hmm. So I have to get the hell out of there. So now I have to rent a car and do.
And now the 1 hour, just easy, fast train turns into a 2-hour drive each way.
Yeah. So if I didn't have anything to complain about, I would not be happy. So. At least I'm happy I can complain.
Exactly.
Once we get back, it is 2 weeks till the first guests come. It is time to start putting in the garden and getting the soil all ready and prepared. And we've already fertilized all the trees and the raspberries and all that kind of stuff. We're waiting.
We think our maple tree is dead.
Yeah, I think our Canadian maple got fried last year.
I'm sad.
Oh, well. I know. But all the
another
fruit
one
trees,
bites the dust
if you
after
notice, that is the only non-native tree that we put in. Meaning all the other trees that we put in, the fruit trees and what's that one up there called?
Magnolia.
The magnolia tree, all more native to the area. That Canadian maple is the only one that was a foreign tree, and it did not survive an Italian summer.
It did not.
Canadian summers are not as hot.
No. I don't know. Oh, it's just sad. I loved that little plastic color.
Yep. So with all this beautiful rain, next week we're supposed to have beautiful sunshine and warm temperatures up into the higher teens, which means all the grass will explode and all the weed whacking has to be done.
But it also means that by these first guests, it will really start to be looking like some green, the colors. Like
Yeah,
the trees, like it's still a little early. The grasses,
Some of the trees-
fields are looking green when you're on walks with the dogs and you kind of look through the valley and you're like, oh, the fields are getting that nice
That electric bright green
color. But the trees haven't quite started. You've just got the little white buds popping up here and there.
And we just pray for nice weather mid-April. Mm-hmm. I would hate for it to be like, it's not going to be cold because it's spring, but just like today. Today is mild and just pissy rain. So
True. Well, we're the vacation in the vacation for these guests. So it's one of those ones where, and this is actually part of what we're perfect for like a short 3-night stay or something, of they're going around doing tons of tours in, all the big cities and the Parmesan and the prosciutto tours in Emilia Romagna. And then it's like, let's come out here and just not really leave and just cook, eat, relax. And so we're perfect for that.
excellent. All right, wrap it up.
Take a look at the website, latavolamarche.com, for the dates for the summer and fall. We still have some availability in July and August. And then our workshops in the autumn as well. And the truffle hunting holiday at the end of October. Over my birthday, you guys. Come on out. Jason's like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, check us out. latavolamarche.com, LATAVOLAMARCHE. To follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all the usual suspects. And have a good one. Until next time. Ciao, ciao.
Sentire Media.
Hey, podcast producers and show hosts. Do you want to join a podcast network that celebrates all things Italian? At Sentire Media, we understand the allure of Italy and its unique culture. Our devoted team of hosts and producers are all driven by their shared passion for Italy. And we work tirelessly to create the best lifestyle podcasts and content that will whisk you away to the very heart of Italy. With us, you can savor the mouth-watering flavors, get lost in the stories from the past, break down the cultural barriers, and truly immerse yourself in the vibrant traditions of this intoxicating country. If you have a great podcast idea or are already in production and would like to join Sentire Media, head over to sentiremedia.com, that's SENTIRE media.com, and find out how to submit your show.